This video is sponsored by Declutter. Check out the link in the description to get an extra $5 when selling your old phone. Hey, what's going on everyone? Greg here, and the iPhone 11, the iPhone 11 Pro, and the iPhone 11 Pro Max are finally here, and I know a lot of people who are watching my videos, who are even watching this video, are very excited to actually go ahead and pre-order them. And because we can't do a full review, because we obviously don't have these phones yet, and because so many of you are looking to pre-order these phones before the official review comes out, I wanted to do a video on some of the differences between the iPhone 11, the iPhone 11 Pro, the iPhone 11 Pro Max, and actually some of the other phones in Apple's lineup and which one you should buy. And for those of you that don't know, you can pre-order these phones starting on September 13th at 5 a.m. Pacific Date Time. So let's start with the iPhone 11 and recap some of the features, because a lot of the features that are on the iPhone 11 are also available on the iPhone 11 Pro. The iPhone 11 has a very similar design to the iPhone XR and even comes in a wide array of colors just like the iPhone XR. It still retains the black, white, yellow, and red colors, but also adds purple and green, and unfortunately drops the coral and blue colors, which were my favorite with the iPhone XR. Aside from some new shades of color, it also has stronger front and back glass compared to the iPhone XR. Although the glass is stronger, it has the same 6.1-inch liquid retina display with a resolution of 1792 by 828 with a resolution of 326 pixels per inch. My thoughts on the iPhone XR's LCD display are well documented. I think it is a good display. I don't think the resolution is any sort of issue at a normal viewing distance, and I assume the same is going to be said for the iPhone 11 when I can actually get it in my hands. For the most part, it looks like the same exact LCD display. Although we have the same display in the iPhone 11, we are getting improved speakers with spatial audio, so that should help you pinpoint exactly where the sound is coming, more of a surround sound experience. And the speakers were already good on the iPhone XR, so I'm really interested to hear just how much Apple has improved them with the iPhone 11. We're also getting some enhancements to Face ID, so Face ID apparently is going to be able to work at a wider range of angles, especially when it is laying flat down on a table. It should be able to see you sooner and therefore unlock your phone faster. Of course, like every iPhone upgrade cycle, we are also getting improvements in the performance, so Apple is upgrading the A12 Bionic chip to the A13 Bionic chip. Apple is claiming that this is the fastest CPU and GPU inside of a smartphone ever, and I'm inclined to believe them based on their previous track record. The A12 chip was a really good performing processor even until this day, and I'm sure the A13 is going to blow us all away when we get our hands on it. Unfortunately, there are no real world or even benchmarks I can show you to show you the improvement with the A13, so for that one, we're gonna have to wait until a full review. The iPhone 11 is also getting increased water resistance from the iPhone XR, which is able to withstand twice the depth from 1 meter to 2 meters. We're also getting faster Wi-Fi with Wi-Fi 6, which should be 38% faster. We're also getting gigabit class LTE with 30 LTE bands. The iPhone 11 is also getting an additional hour of battery life compared to the iPhone XR. The iPhone XR was already the best battery life in an iPhone ever, and the iPhone 11 is going to improve that by 1 hour. We're also getting a brand new U1 chip. The U1 chip is going to allow the iPhone 11 to precisely locate other U1 equipped Apple devices. So the example they give is if you want to use AirDrop and you have a bunch of people in the room, if you both have a U1 enabled iPhone, you could just take your iPhone, point it at them, and then all of a sudden they will be the first one on your AirDrop list. However, this sounds like a feature that was supposed to ship with something else. There was rumors that Apple was going to have a new tag tile system to help you locate lost items, and this sounds like the technology that was built for that. Maybe Apple had to push back that announcement, but I would expect to see that this U1 chip is going to get some more features pretty soon. Now, of course, the biggest outwardly change to the iPhone 11 is the new camera system, because we now have a square camera bump. Unlike the iPhone XR, which only had one camera, the iPhone 11 is getting two cameras with a standard wide-angle camera and then a second ultra-wide-angle lens. With the ultra-wide-angle lens, you're going to be able to take advanced portrait mode, much like you could on the iPhone XS, so now you can actually take portrait mode pictures not only of people, but also of objects and things like pets. The iPhone 11 is also getting night mode photography for the first time. Other Android competitors like the Google Pixel have had this feature for quite a while, and these should make those next to impossible low light photos somehow come out looking great. I've used this feature before on the Pixel, and it is pretty amazing, so I'm really excited to test out the iPhone's version of night mode. Of course, the iPhone 11 is also going to have advanced video features, and one of the cool things is the seamless transition between the ultra wide angle lens and the regular lens for taking video. The iPhone 11 is also getting a bump in the front-facing camera from a 7 megapixel sensor on the iPhone XR to a 12 megapixel sensor, the same sensor on the rear camera, and that is going to lead to better selfie shots. And of course, we're also getting some brand new features with that 12 megapixel selfie camera, and that's called Slow-Fi. So now you can take slow motion videos from the front-facing camera. And probably the best thing about the iPhone 11 is that it's now $50 lower than the launch price of the iPhone XR, which was $750. So the iPhone 11 will come in at just $699. And if that all sounds good to you, and if you are planning on buying an iPhone 11, make sure you check out our sponsor for this video, Declutter, the fast and easy way to sell your cell phone. Declutter will give you free instant valuation for your phone, shipping is totally free, and you'll get paid the day after your phone arrives. Best of all, they pay up to 33% more than carrier buyback programs. To start, simply head over to declutter.com, that's DECLUTTR, and tell them the make and model of the device you're selling. Then select the carrier and condition to get a free instant valuation. That's right, no auctions, no annoying fees, and no having to deal with unreliable buyers. Plus, with their tech price promise, you're guaranteed to get the first price they offer, or you can request your handset back for free. Next, pack your cell phone into a box, attach your free send label, and ship it for free. When your cell phone arrives, Declutter's expert team will check it over and pay you the next day. It's that simple. And don't worry, Declutter will make sure all of your personal data is removed too. Declutter has paid more than $300 million to over 6 million customers and has been featured on Good Morning America, The Today Show, and so much more, so you know you can trust them. So if you're upgrading, make sure you check out declutter.com first to get the best price for your cell phone and use my code GREG5 to get an extra $5. And thank you again to Declutter for sponsoring this video. Alright, let's talk a little bit more about the iPhone 11 Pro and the iPhone 11 Pro Max, and that's because everything I just mentioned for the iPhone 11 features are also going to be in the iPhone 11 Pro and the iPhone 11 Pro Max, except for a few exceptions where the iPhone 11 Pro gets some better features. So one of those differences is the design. So the iPhone 11 Pro comes with a stainless steel and glass design as opposed to the aluminum found on the iPhone 11. The iPhone 11 Pro is also going to have a matte finish on the back and come in silver, white, gold, and a new midnight green. The display on the iPhone 11 Pro is going to either come in a 5.8 inch or a 6.5 inch for the 11 Pro Max. Apple is calling this display a Super Retina XDR display, and that's because the new display on the iPhone 11 Pro can get up to 1200 nits of peak brightness versus 625 on the iPhone 11. However, this only maxes out at 800 nits when you're viewing it in direct sunlight. The OLED display is going to have a 2,000,000:1 contrast ratio, and of course, OLED displays have superior black levels when compared to LCD displays. Now, I can't really give you an opinion on the iPhone 11 Pro screen versus the iPhone 11. I really need to get them in my hands, and that's because when I reviewed the iPhone XS and the iPhone XR, I thought the displays were different. I thought that the XS had a better display, especially with the deeper black levels on the OLED, but when I viewed them even side by side when looking at things like a home screen or a website, sometimes it was hard to tell the difference. Another big difference with the iPhone 11 Pro is that it's going to have a 3-camera system as opposed to the iPhone 11's 2-camera system. The iPhone 11 Pro is going to have a wide-angle lens and ultra-wide-angle lens, much like the iPhone 11, and also an additional telephoto lens, which gets some improvements from the XS because it has an f2.0 aperture, which should let in 40% more light. So with the iPhone 11 Pro, you're going to get 3 different focal lengths to work with. That should give you a lot of perspective depending on what kind of photos you want to shoot. and you're also going to be able to take portrait mode with either the ultra wide angle lens or the telephoto lens. So again, that can give you some really cool perspectives depending on the type of photography you're trying to do. Now, the biggest upgrade to the iPhone 11 Pro camera is a feature called Deep Fusion. This is going to combine 9 different images together, analyze them all in 1 second using computational photography, and then stitch those photos together, and then it's going to analyze things like low light and medium light, combine those all together into one super image. And basically, if we're to believe Apple, this should create a really nice image with really amazing dynamic range and detail. However, the sad thing about this Deep Fusion feature is it's not going to be available at launch with the iPhone 11 Pro, and it's only going to be enabled later through a software update. I kind of was bummed out about this because I think this is one of the features that was long rumored, the ability to combine all these different photos together to create a super detailed image. I was really excited for it, and I think it's going to be one of the features that, if this works, if this really makes better photos on the iPhone 11 Pro, that is going to be one of the best selling features and one of the reasons why I might recommend an iPhone 11 Pro over an iPhone 11. Unfortunately, at launch, I'm not going to be able to compare those features, but you should be made aware of it, and it's something that we're going to have to test with a future software update. Another upgrade from the iPhone Pro is in the battery life performance. So now the iPhone Pro is going to get 18 hours of video playback. That's compared with 17 hours of video playback on the iPhone 11. The iPhone 11 Pro Max gets even better battery life with up to 20 hours of video playback. Last year, the cheaper iPhone had the best battery. Now this time, the more expensive models, rightfully so, have better battery life. The iPhone 11 Pro also has better water resistance. This time it can go to 4 meters up to 30 minutes, where the iPhone 11 can only do 2 meters at 30 minutes. And by far, the biggest difference between the iPhone 11 Pro and the iPhone 11 is the price. Now, the iPhone 11, like we mentioned, comes in at $699 for a 64 gigabyte model. The iPhone 11 Pro starts at $999 for the 64 gigabyte model, and then $100 more, $1,099 for the iPhone 11 Pro Max. This is a $400 difference between the base configuration of the iPhone 11 and the iPhone 11 Pro. All right, iPhone 11 or iPhone 11 Pro, which one should you get? The iPhone 11 looks like it's going to be a very similar phone to the iPhone XR with some improvements to the camera, audio, durability, and water resistance. Last year, the iPhone XR was my top recommendation for almost anyone when they were going to purchase an iPhone. It combined a lot of great features into a more affordable package than the iPhone XS. Now that the iPhone 11 is coming in at $50 lower than the iPhone XR and has even more features, this could also potentially be my top recommendation for this year of iPhones. I would say get the iPhone 11 if you want the latest iPhone, you don't mind an LCD display, you don't need a zoom lens, and you don't care about enhanced water resistance. If you are buying an iPhone 11, I also highly recommend you spend an extra $50 to bump the storage up from 64 gigabytes to 128 gigabytes. I think this represents the best value in the current new iPhone lineup. You're getting an iPhone 11 for $749 and a configuration of 128 gigabytes of storage, which should be plenty for almost anyone. Now for the iPhone 11 Pro. Pro usually implies professional use cases, but as Apple said at their own event, this is also for people who just want the best possible iPhone. So yes, if you're going to take advantage of that new camera system, if you're doing things like Instagram, shooting video, if you're some sort of influencer or YouTuber, definitely consider the Pro, especially for that triple camera array. And if that Deep Fusion camera works, this could potentially be an amazing camera phone. Also, don't forget things like the OLED display, which will lead to better black levels, and also the enhanced HDR that can get up to 1200 nits of brightness. So if you are watching tons of video, especially with that new Apple TV Plus service, you might want to consider going for that iPhone 11 Pro. I would also say if you want the best battery life possible, the iPhone 11 Pro gets 1 more hour than the 11, and the Pro Max gets 3 more hours than the 11. But almost as its name implies, the iPhone 11 is probably the iPhone for most people, and the iPhone 11 Pro is for those people who don't mind spending a lot of money, or for people who want that extra step, if you're using that camera, if you're using all day battery life, you need a phone to last you the entire day, that's where you got to start looking at the iPhone 11 Pro. Now, before we end this video, I want to mention two other phones in Apple's lineup that you might want to consider. The first one is the iPhone 8. Now, this is going to start at only $449 for a 64GB version. The iPhone 8 has a bit of an older design, but if you don't mind that, you can end up getting an iPhone that's only $50 away from the old iPhone SE, which start at $399, and everyone really liked the price for that phone. And the iPhone 8 still has a respectable processor inside of it because it is the same processor that is found on the iPhone 10. Now, the other phone that you might want to consider is the iPhone XR. That was my iPhone pick for 2018. Apple is still keeping that around in the lineup, and they're dropping the price to $599. The iPhone XR still has a very similar design to the iPhone 11. You lose the second lens, the A13 chip, and better water resistance and more durable glass, but for $599, the iPhone XR is a solid phone at that price. It still has the same display, great battery life, a great camera, and honestly, I think the colors look better on the iPhone XR than they do on the iPhone 11. All right, everyone, and that's going to do it for this video. Hopefully this video helped you out in choosing your next iPhone. I would love to hear in the comments below which iPhone you plan on choosing, either the iPhone 11 or the iPhone 11 Pro, and for what reasons why, or maybe you might consider some of those recommendations I made at the end for the iPhone 8 or the iPhone XR. If you're planning on going with an older iPhone, I would also love to know why. Also, if you want to sell an older iPhone, make sure you check out our sponsor for this video, Declutter, in the link in the description. And as always, if you like the video, make sure you give me a like. If you want to see more from this channel, make sure you're subscribed. And as always, I will see you all in the next video. Take care, everyone.